The 8th May 2026. I'm continuing my practice of how I feel when I talk about a specific topic for a YouTube video. The topic today will be the Star Wars Andor show season 1. I'm still a little bit sick, so there's still a few symptoms that I feel a little bit of tension. That's not so comfortable. So, Star Wars Andor is, I would say, a masterpiece. Star Wars Andor is probably one of the best TV shows I have ever seen, not just from Star Wars, but in general. It is a very grounded story about Cassian Andor and how he became a rebel. What drove him to fight the Empire, while at the beginning he was very reluctant of fighting the Empire. He didn't want it to fight it because it didn't saw any use in it. He didn't saw that it would lead to anything. He wanted to just live a good life, protect his loved ones, and just live his life. That's what Cassian Andor shortly wanted at the beginning. And at the end, he was a rebel. He wanted to fight and defeat the Empire. And the whole show is basically about the transformation of that, from how he became the person he was to a rebel, to one of the best rebels there was. And he did so in a very grounded way. Like, Star Wars Andor shows a lot of people, and it's wrong to say that Star Wars Andor really shows the lives and issues of normal people, because the people that we see are not necessarily normal people. Like, we see them as side characters a little bit, but even the Star Wars Andor characters, especially the main characters, are not normal people. But it's a lot more in that direction. It shows a lot more the influence on everyday life, and you get an impression through the experience of these people how normal people in way more normal situations would have been affected by the Empire, but also by the rebellion. They're showing kind of the dark sides of both. That's one of the things that I really like about the Andor series, that it really shows the darkness of the rebellion, not just where it comes from and how that place is created from the Empire, but also how it expresses. And how rebels do actually quite horrible things, and how they actually cause a lot of suffering in a way to create even more rebellion, to cause even more friction and even more issues that then people had to stand up for against. Star Wars Andor has a lot of really amazing monologues and even dialogues. There is my favorite scene in Andor, and in a way more and more my favorite scene in general in movie and TV shows in general, is the scene where Mon Mothma asks her friend of help. I forgot his name, but doesn't matter. Anyone who watched it will know what scene I'm talking about. I have watched this scene repeatedly, and pretty much every time I'm watching the show, I am at least multiple times watching that scene, which I have never done with any other like scene so far again. So that's this scene is even creating a pull on me and a draw to it when I'm watching it, to like rewatch it multiple times in a row, that no other scene in like movies ever has done. And I think it's like one of the most interesting scenes, not just in the shows but in general. What this show, but this scene is doing so incredible well, is creating tension, like extremely tension. The scene is like extremely dangerous for Mon Mothma. Mon Mothma is about to ask her friend to help her funding the rebellion, basically. I mean, she doesn't say that, but that's what she's doing. Which, if her friend is not just an imperial spy, but just someone who would use that information against her, or anything like that, she, not just she is dead, the whole rebellion is dead, she will die. And all of the people with it, and the future of the rebellion is over. So it's not just her life that is on threat in the scene, it's the whole universe. And it all depends on, can she trust that person to not do not report her to the Empire? Can she trust this person that he will help her? Because if not, she is dead and the rebellion is done. So there's a lot on the line, on the scene, like a lot on the scene. But what you see in the scene is they're talking on a party. The scene is in an insanely ordinary setting, but the consequences, the implications of that one talk are way bigger than I have ever seen in any of such ordinary scene that I know of. That is the interesting, the insanely interesting part about the scene. How, and it is all created by the Empire. So this is like kind of a reflection of how the suppression and the fear and the dangerousness of the Empire affects people, that such ordinary things can be life-ending. And not just life-ending, in this case, they can be universe-ending for a lot of people. And that's and how that is acted, how it is framed, from like the camera, from the music, from the actors, that's just a very amazing scene. And you can see not just this tension, but also the care Mon Mothma puts into the talk. That is like another aspect. But what I really like you can see in the way she talks about, she never wants to reveal any much too much, where she's really trying to balance on this line where if she goes over it, everything ends. And if she doesn't go too far, she can't get the help that she needs. That's kind of the balancing act that she's doing. And that creates, even while it's kind of an ordinary talk, it's a really awkward talk. Like her conversation partner, her friend, is like very confused. She doesn't at really any point know what is she even talking about. Like what the fuck is going on? And you can see that, and that's like really, really amazing, where she like always reminds him to smile and reveals one awful thing about another. And with how she talks, she's not just talking to the friend. She is like, it's not really like a composition where she's telling the audience a lot. That's not what, and Andor is not doing anything to tell the audience in that sense. Anything which some movies are doing, where basically you just have a character saying anything and it's not for other characters, it's just for the audience. Endo's not doing that. Mon Mothma is not doing anything like that, but through her friend and through the conversation, the audience also get revealed step by step how dangerous and how much in threat she is, even in that conversation. Like at the end, she's telling him one after another that, well, her driver is in an ISB plant, and she has like all of these spies around her, even like under her personal. She's watched from the Empire, from the state, from the ISB, and she's under threat. And like her friend becomes worried about it. You can see it in his expression, where what the fuck is going on? Like this, what are you doing? And then she puts something even on top, like very much at the end, her what is the word? Her husband. I couldn't remember the word. Her husband comes over, like very much at the end of the talk, and Mon Mothma says to him, I can't remember his name, but her husband is coming over. He's not to be trusted. He doesn't know anything about this. Do not tell him anything. He can't be trusted. Which you have to imagine. A friend comes to you, asks you about financial help, tells you that what you think about her is a lie, tells you that she's learned from the empire, from the emperor, about distraction and manipulation, tells you that the empire and the ISB is watching you, that they have you surrounded in your very home, even at your very parties. Your drivers and whoever are spies on you, and you know that, and you want them watch you because you don't want to know them what you're really doing. So you're hiding in plain sight, and you're kind of telling them that. And in the end, you're even revealing that even your husband, kind of one of the closest persons you probably has, cannot be trusted and might be a threat to you. And you even have to hide from them. What world that is that you revealed, where you are in it. And step by step, this threat, this isolation, this danger, she's revealing with words and nothing else. And the tension is rising and rising and rising, and it is insanely high. And it feels the other way so ordinary and so awkward. And you can really see the grasp and the influence and the danger of the empire in a talk that decides the fate of the whole galaxy. And Endo has a lot of these things, but this is my favorite scene, very much my favorite scene. I really love that scene. That's peak, just peak there. Top, there will be many, many better scenes in movies, which kind of is sad to think about. I think I also very much like the scene a lot, because I can very much connect with this feeling of just being in there, ordinary things that are threatening me. I think that's enough for today. Have a nice day. Until tomorrow.